Right, this is the start of day 2 with this bike. So where are we so far? We've got the carbs off, they're ready to go. We don't know if the engine will actually spin yet or not. What we also want to do is, we know that Andy took off one of these, or not Andy, Lee took off one of these discs. And we have the electrics to think about as well. But for right now, what we want to do is we want to use this spanner and see if this engine will even spin. So let's see what happens here. No bother. There we go. Another milestone, engine turns. Right, we'll flick this power switch for the first time ever. See what happens? No pops. Tail lights on. And try this now. There we are, we have lights. Where's our flasher over here, or a horn? 25 has a light.
Can't see there being a horn in that day. Fucking hell. There's only one dusting the front wheel, for fuck's sake.
What's that doing there?
That's your high and low.
Is it actually working?
Aye.
It is. High, low. Yeah, it's not working. I know there's no indicators, so that's that. Right. Next, we'll put the starter on and see if we get her fired up. Right. What have we done now? We have now reinstalled the starter motor that we found lying in that black bag over there. So I'm going to hit the button now and see if this works and see if we can get the bike actually spinning over. So now that we're on, let's give it a wee turn. We are. Right, so she's turning. That's another milestone. Right, end of the day now, what have we got? We've got the engine turning over, we're still not getting a spark, and what we think is these bundle of coil wires head all the way back to these two plugs here, which aren't plugged into something, and we think should be put into the IC igniter, so that'll be the next thing to check. But that's it now for now. Right, back next week. Andy, thanks for all your hard work tonight. You haven't even got grease in your hands, have you? No, not at all. It was basically all just me and James tonight, wasn't it? Right. Right. I wanted to talk a little bit about ignition coils, because this is something I always thought was one of the issues way back. Maybe this has developed recently, but as you can see, we have two coils here, and this one, let's see if you can make that out. This one is bulging quite a bit at the end here, which means that's not in good shape. You can see it's cracked and everything there. The other one has got some cracks, but it's not nearly as expanded as the other one. But with a multimeter, you can actually check to see if these coils work or not. So there's two ways to check resistance. One is by checking the resistance across the primary windings, which is these two contacts right here, and you should get anywhere between, depending on the coil, 3 and 5 ohms, something like that. And then the other way to do it is to check the secondary windings, where you check these two holes right here, where the actual HT leads would go to your spark plugs. So let me check the good one first. That's the busted one. So all you do is you put your two probes in. I've got this set up to 20k, the multimeter. You just stick the two probes in there, and you get a reading of just over 14,000 ohms, which is right where you would expect it to be for a coil. And if I do the exact same test on the other one, nothing, not a sausage. I'll just do that good one again so you can see the difference. And as soon as I do that, it jumps right back up to just over 14. So I'll do the primary winding. So that's the secondary ones. The primary, I'll put this down to the lowest setting, and I'll check across these two. This one is much more difficult to get at. Let's see, come here. This reading, I'm not sure if it's my multimeter being crap, but it bounces all over the place. It actually looks like it's giving me a resistance of 10. Now, it should be much lower than that. It should actually be closer to 3 or 4. That's actually saying 10.8. So maybe that ignition coil is not as good as I thought either. This one, I check it out. That resistance is so low, it might as well be nothing. 0.5, which means this one's giving me a dead short. So whenever we hooked this one up, this actually gave us, we actually got some smoke coming out from behind the ignition plate. So that one, definitely bad. This one, may be good, may not be good. We'll have to wait and see. Obviously, with all these cracks and stuff here, I think the best thing to do would be to get 2 new ones of these. But they're not cheap, so we'll have to see. Right, day 3 on the GPZ revival slash restoration slash will we ever get it going. Right, what we did today was we dropped all the oil, which is still over here, needing to be disposed, but there was a full engine full of oil, so at least we weren't turning it over with no oil in the bugger. I have made good sense of the coil wiring, which is here. And I'm pretty happy now with this here. So we've got our 2 reds, there are 2 coils, we've got our green and we've got our black. So once we get our new coil, we'll be able to hook that up. I'm going to get some new spark plugs, I don't even know which ones they are. And what else have we done? Right, so we took the rear wheel off, attached the disc. We only have 1 of these screws, so we've got to find 4 more of those for the rear disc and maybe clean up that disc as well. And then we started on assembling the rear brake mechanism. So that's all back on again now. And working like gangbusters. But what we're missing, we noticed that we have to try and find is, whenever you hang this caliper here, there is a bar that goes from that bolt hole down to that bolt hole right there. So we need to get one of those to make sure we can attach this caliper correctly as well. And that is it for tonight. Happy Valentine's Day, Andy.
Right, guys.